Welcome, everyone, back to Curiosities. It's been a fantastic time. It's been, we're going into the spring season now. I can feel the change in the air. The changes in the air. And which brings me to this article by Breitbart I really want to get into. And the headline reads, Report Hollywood executives and insiders trash Oscars diversity rules. Flimsy and showy. I'm going to get into this. I have a lot of opinions. I know people out there, you watching, you probably have some of your own. And I want to get into that. Before we do, though, I do want to mention that this show does have a sponsor, believe it or not. Huge shout out to our sponsor, DNA Solutions, Maryland's premier IT support service provider. They've been in business since 2015. They offer IT managing services, cloud services, cabling and infrastructure, data backup and disaster recovery, staffing services, amongst other things. Check out DNA Solutions today for your company's needs. Go to their website, dnabaltimore.com, to see all of their services for your business needs. Thank you for your sponsorship of the Curiosities program and the New Kingdom Radio Theater. We definitely welcome your support. Thank you. Do send them some love and check out DNA Solutions. They're a great company. Good supporters, strong supporters of this show, the Curiosities, and of all the others involved with New Kingdom Radio Theater. So hats off to you guys. Thanks for your support. Anyway, let's get into this article by Breitbart. It's something that's near and dear to my heart as a film guy, as a video guy. I kind of keep my eye on Hollywood only because, they are the biggest in the world, I think, when it comes to media production. But that doesn't mean that they don't have their critics, and it doesn't mean that they don't have their flaws. Clearly, they have lots of flaws. And I think over time, Hollywood is starting to lose a little bit its luster and certainly its influence on media in general, as you have media companies from all over the world now that are competing, and Hollywood is struggling. Let's get into this article and see what Breitbart has to say about the Oscars specifically. The first paragraph says, after Breitbart News exposed the numerous loopholes in the Academy Awards' new DEI quotas, the New York Times has published its own version of the story, which includes unnamed Hollywood insiders trashing the diversity rules as little more than window dressing, flimsy, and showy. Now, if you don't know what DEI means, is diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is a kind of form of affirmative action, but more like on steroids, really. It's permeated through just about every industry you can think of, at least in this country, where people are hired or put in positions based on their ethnicity, their skin color, that sort of thing, to kind of manufacture diversity, essentially. But let's move on and see where this is going here on this. Some Hollywood executives who are also granted an anonymity told the Times that the mandates have changed little about how they make movies, in large part because the standards are so easily met. I think, this is a lot of this idea of DEI comes from people that just don't have what it takes to get to a certain level, and they cry and complain. They want to blame it on something, so they have to blame it on race, or they have to blame it on something else, because there are people in Hollywood of different races, different ethnicities, different beliefs, different backgrounds that have made huge strides in movies and in other areas, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera, that have made some significant contributions to the movie business. And that comes from their merit. That comes from their abilities. That comes from their skill, their abilities to tell a story and to produce a film that is of quality. I don't know if that necessarily has to do with race so much. That's just me speaking as a Hispanic American. I don't think I've ever wanted to be given an opportunity specifically because I'm Hispanic, although I know I have been discriminated because of the fact that I'm Hispanic. But let's move on. It says, on Sunday, the 96th Academy Awards will usher in a new woke era by being the first Oscars to have required all Best Picture hopefuls to meet so-called inclusion standards. Call it the first DEI Oscars. As thrilling as that may sound to some, the reality is much more prosaic. Some, like so much of Hollywood, the Oscars diversity rules are mostly an illusion. And really, I mean, if you're gonna force this on an industry, you're not gonna get the best of the best. I'm sorry, you're gonna get participation trophies, unfortunately, because you're forcing something into categories. You're forcing them to select winners based on things that have nothing to do with their quality, has nothing to do with their skills. I'm sorry, if you want to watch a good movie, you're going to watch a movie because it's good, because the story is fascinating, because it's compelling, because of the actors are good, not because, they're of a particular skin tone. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just people who look at movies that way. If you look at the stats, if you look at how Hollywood has been over the last decade, it has been progressively going downward. And there are certain movies that do well, and there's some movies that do terrible. And it's really because of the quality of the product. There's just no other way to put it. And unfortunately, they want to force this idea that, oh, no, we're going to have a certain amount of Asians, certain amount of Hispanics, certain amount of black people, and that's going to make this a good product. No, that doesn't make it a good product, man. It doesn't matter how you want to wrap this up, how big of a bow you want to put on it. It's just not going to be that good based on that. Sorry, it isn't. Let's go on. So here's a tweet. Oscar woke DEI quotas filled with loopholes. No on-screen diversity actually required. So we get to the crux of it, don't we? A movie only has to meet only 2 of the Academy 4 requirements to be eligible for Best Picture consideration. 2 of those requirements pertain to cast and crew diversity, while the others cover the studio's financing and distributing the movie. As a result, a movie can skip the first 2 requirements and still count as diverse if the studio releasing the title has a minority internship program and employs minorities in key executive roles. This explains why Oppenheimer qualifies as diverse, even though its cast is wall-to-wall straight white males. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to find a way around this. This is because the idea of DEI is essentially just rotten to its core. It really is. You can't say, okay, well, we have this fantastic actor here, but because he is white or because he is Asian, we're not going to use him. We're going to use this Hispanic person, or we're going to use this black person because, DEI. No, you're going to go with the better actor. Now, the better actor could be the black actor. It can't work the other way. That's bad. When you have a situation where clearly the black actor is a better actor, but you choose the white actor because of XYZ. That isn't good at all. That's discrimination. That's racism. That is what makes, that's why we're in the situation I think we are in as a country, as a society. I think we struggle with these things because we know that it's bad one way, but we want to believe that it isn't bad the other way. And that's the dichotomy. That is the contrast that we exist in and why we can't seem to agree on this topic. And there might be people that agree with me. There might be people that don't agree with me. But the fact is that you can't discriminate against somebody because of their ethnicity. Yet we are going to discriminate against somebody because of their ethnicity. That's insane to me. That's contradictory at the very least. What do you guys think? I'm curious. Is this a hill that I should die on? Really? I think as a filmmaker, I'm gonna cast. This is me personally speaking. I'm gonna cast the best actor. I just am. I'm gonna cast the best actor for any project that I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna make a movie, and I plan on making more movies, I'm going to pick the best actor. Now, there may be roles that are specific to ethnicity. So clearly, if I'm looking for a role, an actor to play a black character, I'm going to specifically look for a black actor. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to pick the very first black actor that comes to the door. I'm going to pick the best one that comes in auditions. If I'm looking for a role, an actor to play a role that is Asian, I'm going to pick the best Asian. But if I don't have a specific race or ethnicity for that character, I am going to pick the best actor, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever, mixed race. Because at the end of the day, as a director, you know what you're looking for. You know what you're looking for. And because that's what's going to help you put together this narrative, help you put together the story. You're going to be able to tell this story if you have the right actors in place. But I think what a lot of times what's happening is you have people that say, well, original, and this is, I think where Disney got into a major problem, is that they were taking already IPs that were established with characters that were white, and then they swapped them out with a different race. I think that's where they started to get into a slippery slope, because now you have something that's already established, something that already has a history, and now you're switching it out with something else. Write a new story, man. Write something that's creative, something that's new. I think people are afraid now. You have companies, you have studios that are just afraid to go out on a limb, to do something edgy, do something real and right out of the box, and something no one's ever done before. I think we need more of that. That's what art is. That's what media is. That's why people who are artists do this, because they have something that's different. They don't want to do the same old thing. Hopefully Hollywood will get the picture or get the message. If not, there will be others that will step up to the plate and produce quality, good stories. And hopefully those actors that get casted are casted because they're good actors or because they fit that particular character role. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button. Share this video with others. If you're going to watch the Oscars, or if you're watching this after the Oscars, drop me a comment below. What did you guys think? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair? I really would like to know, or DM me if you're not comfortable with that. Until next time, God bless.
New Kingdom Radio Theater.